Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video. Welcome everybody, let's take a look at the euro currency at this time. Well guys, as we said in the previous weeks, it's really difficult to make any forecasts and analysis at the eve of the significant event that should follow on Monday. I'm speaking about the referendum in Crimea and Ukraine and the sanctions that should be announced on Monday against Russia by the European Union. So this could really change the overall picture here drastically, and we could see really significant volatility on the forex market in the nearest future. That's why I'm not sure about the in what degree we could apply the technicals right now for the analysis of the market. Still, as usual, we deal with the technical analysis, and following the technicals, we could say that market has accomplished the significant reversal pattern on the weekly time frame chart that we have discussed during the previous couple of months. So if you would like to know the details about it, you could read our weekly research, the analysis of the monthly and weekly time frame chart. But the major conclusion that we could be made based on the analysis of the weekly time frame chart is that market currently stands under resistance, and we already see by the action on the previous week that market really feels this resistance. So this is some sort of the coil that market stands with almost 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks in a row, and can't move high. At the same time, as I said, as we stand under resistance, we should see here some patterns that could trigger a retracement right back down. The first level that we should watch for as the potential target of this retracement is 137.10. It's somewhere in this area. This is the first small target, the nearest target of the retracement. And right now, since the picture that stands on the higher time frame charts, although already the monthly chart looks moderately bullish, but the appearing of the significant reversal pattern on the weekly time frame chart adds the nervosity and some nervousness and risks for further upward continuation for the euro currency. I do not want even to speak about the geopolitical risks that we now have on the markets. So the major question right now in the medium-term perspective, the perspective of the 1-2 weeks, is to understand if any retracement will start, whether this action we should treat as the retracement, or that could be the real bearish reversal on the higher time frame charts. That will be the major concern in the nearest couple of weeks, because as a retracement, as a reversal will start equally. They will look similar, and the major difference between them will be in the depth of this potential action. So, speaking from the perspective of the weekly time frame chart, our edge and the maximum level of the where market could reach and where we could still think about and talk and call it as a retracement stands around 135.50 area. It's right here. Until market will stand above this area, we could say that yes, maybe this is a retracement. The market has the chances to return right back up and continue move higher. But to be honest, guys, I prefer to see the retracement only to the nearest levels, 137.10, somewhere in this area, and return right back up. By some reasons. The major reason here is that market not ever bought on the higher time frame charts. And the second reason is that by this tap, market has hit only 618 extension, and I do not want to see very deep retracements after hitting just the 618 extension. So we will see what will happen. But right now on the daily time frame chart, I currently do not see the reversal patterns yet. Nothing has been formed except maybe this coil that market stands coiling around the previous top, and this just some inability to continue move higher. We have this ABCD pattern. Market already stands above the 618 target. Next target of this pattern stands around 40, probably 80 approximately. Meantime, although we do not see anything on the daily time frame chart, on the 4-hour time frame chart we have something. First of all, take a look at the contracted chart, and you will see that on the contracted chart, market stands in the long-term parallel channel. Okay, so you will easily find it if you will draw these lines. It's support line, and here's the upper border of this channel. Okay, and we know that the lower border of the channel plays a very significant role, because if market moves through it, it tells us that that could be the sign of the reversal. But on the coming week, we have another tool that will let us to understand whether it will be a reversal to the downside. I mean, of course, in the short-term perspective, much earlier than this lower border. And I'm speaking about the weekly pivot support one. Here I will explain why this level will be the indicator of the possible starting of the retracement that we just have talked about on the weekly time frame chart. Because if you will shift your chart slightly to the right, you'll see that the weekly pivot support one coincides with the former top on the daily time frame chart. Particularly speaking, it coincides with this top. Okay, and in this case, the weekly pivot support one has the absolutely special role, because from the one point of view, any return of the market right back below the previous highs will simultaneously tell us that retracement has started, right? Second moment, if market will move below the weekly pivot points, weekly pivot support one, it also tells us that some bearish trend in progress, because we know that the market stands in the long-term bull trend. The weekly pivot support one should hold the retracement. If this will not happen, this tells us that something is changing and that the previous trend stands under question. Third moment is if market will move below this level, it will form the reversal swing down, because market will move below the previous lows and will break the previous, as you can see, sequence of high lows and high highs. Okay, in this case, when the market will move lower than these lows, this sequence will be broken. And finally, what is more significant right now is that, take a look, we have the bearish stop grabber that suggests and that has the target right here. This low should be taken out, and this particular pattern points on the reaching of the weekly pivot support one, and in fact increase the probability of the breakout and turning to the downside, especially if we take into consideration this real significant plunge. And final moment here, take a look at this. That easily could become the head and shoulders pattern, because now this top stands at the right at 1618 extension of the previous retracement. That could become the left shoulder. Significant plunge down. This could be treated as some kind of the, maybe not quite the wash and rinse, but take a look, this was really move up and fast move down. So it seems like market just has grabbed something and returned right back down. This top has been cleared out earlier, that's why it's difficult to call it as the wash and rinse, but the shape of this action very similar to this pattern. And this, as I said, really could become the head and shoulders pattern. So that's been said, in the short-term perspective, the first target that market could reach if retracement will start, it will be the 137.10 fib support on the weekly time frame chart. And the nearest two sessions on Monday and Tuesday, we will deal with this pattern, and if it will start to work and if market will accomplish this and return right back below the weekly pivot support one, this will be significant confirmation that this retracement that we have discussed, and that should start due to the pattern on the weekly time frame chart, maybe this retracement has started. If market will complete this head and shoulders, this stop grabber will achieve its target, market will move below the weekly pivot support one. That will be a really significant challenge on the possible downward continuation. That's the major moment that we should watch for in the nearest couple of trading sessions. In a medium-term perspective, our major task is to understand if this action to the downside will start, whether it will be just a retracement or this could be really a long-term reversal. But we will probably answer on this question a bit later when we will get more information and more price action from the euro currency. Well, that's all that I would like to say about the euro currency right now. As you can see, market provides us some interesting patterns to trade. So if you're a scalp trader, you could deal precisely directly with the stop grabber. If your trading style assumes taking more risk for trading, you could, for instance, trying to trade these head and shoulders, for example, trying to take the position based on the stop grabber, and trying to enter with this possible setup a bit earlier. If you have the conservative tactics and you prefer to not take more risk, you could wait when the market will confirm this head and shoulders breakthrough the weekly pivot support line, for example, and after that trying to take the position on the retesting of the neckline or something of that sort. So this here, as you can see, a lot of different possibilities. But in general, this setup that's now is forming on the euro currency almost on all time frames. So euro currency is very interesting. Well, it's worth of our attention. It's really interesting and clear setup right now.